Hey my loves, and welcome back to another live. I miss being here with all of you. It's been a while and I'm really excited to share today. So today we're going to be talking about spiritual bypassing because I feel this is a topic that we don't speak about enough, and it's a very big, triggering and important one for us to discuss. So let's just dive right in. I was just talking with, and welcome, I was just talking with a few sisters of mine that are very dear to my heart about certain things that happened in our lives in certain situations with other people. And it got to a point where we were actually discussing what it's spiritual bypassing. That's what I wanted to bring to you today. So, this is, I don't know what I'm going to share, but it's going to be deep. So I'm just taking a moment to breathe it in as more of you join, and I welcome you. Let me know if you have experienced spiritual bypassing, if you have done spiritual bypassing yourself, or if you have experienced it from someone else. This is something that I've experienced many times, watching other people do it, and also seeing when I would do it without noticing it. So welcome sisters, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. And yeah, spiritual bypassing can take many different forms, and it can disguise many different things that we are not seeing. Spiritual bypassing can be being high vibration and you're not high vibe enough, or you're just low energy. It can be like the tantric stuff, like where you feel uncomfortable with being touched, or with being in a certain environment with a certain group of people where someone is facilitating something, and then you override the discomfort you feel, not noticing that you're spiritually bypassing and accepting things that you don't want, or that you're making excuses for your life, neglecting certain things that are very basic and physical and important, and using the spiritual bypassing as a way to literally bypass those things. So let me see how direct and clear I want to be about this, because I also want to share about false light, and I want to also speak into the dangers of channeling and the dangers of being so energetically open to other dimensions and other things outside of this physical realm. Because even though it can be a beautiful thing that we can connect with other dimensions and other beings, it can also be very dangerous, especially for those of us who are very pure hearts and are also maybe a little bit naive. And again, this happens to many of us, unfortunately. And I've seen it happen with me and with many other people in my life. And now I feel like being a voice to that, speaking into it and bringing light and awareness into that. Because sometimes people might think that they are channeling light, or light beings, or beings of love that have pure intentions to actually help us. But sometimes there are beings who disguise themselves as light and as of love and pretend that they are here to help you, but that's not what's actually happening. And sometimes we need to go through a lot of pain and a lot of shadows and a lot of triggers and really bad stuff, to be honest, until we realize that maybe that thing we connected with was not so good. And again, this happens to the best of us, like when we are doing multidimensional healings and meditations and facilitating multidimensional spaces for ourselves or for others. It's very important that we are very grounded and very connected and in tune with ourselves and what feels good and what doesn't. This is why I stopped for a while receiving energy from other people. So, for example, last year, like 2 years ago, going into last year, I was in a container with people facilitating that container, which was supposed to be very high vibrational and very powerful. And it was indeed very high vibrational and very powerful. But there were also like very weird energetic stuff that was going on there that I was also feeling and seeing that no one was talking about. And welcome everyone, welcome. Today we're talking about spiritual bypassing and false light beings and all that weird stuff. It's not a comfortable conversation. It's not a high vibe conversation, but it's an important one that sometimes we need to have. So I was in this container with people I felt I could trust, that I looked up to, that I thought I felt safe with. And there were all of these opening of portals and multidimensional energy and connecting with Egypt and Atlantis and like all this stuff. And like, it felt like very high vibrational, very powerful, very all of those things. And as I was saying, it was, but at the same time, sometimes I would feel like very weird energies, or I would not feel so good, or I would black out, or weird stuff would happen. And I thought, well, I am younger, I should listen to this person, and maybe I just don't know enough, and I should just trust them, that they know what they are doing and all of that. But more and more I learned that certain things also didn't feel so good, and that certain energetics were a little bit weird, and just stuff was going on that didn't feel so good. And again, me blacking out on certain meditations or activations didn't really feel so good. And not just that, but I would also sometimes feel weird stuff come through me, where I would also have like these weird episodes, or like these weird moments where my energy would flip out, or when I would myself do some spiritual bypassing without noticing that I was doing it, because of this other stuff that was going on. Again, not pointing fingers outwards. This is just more of a reflection. If you can feel me, I'm even like kind of struggling to even talk about this. I don't know if you've been with me in other lives, maybe you see that I speak more fluently, and this one feels like I'm like dragging along to get it out of me to share about this, because I know like I don't want to point any fingers, and I don't want to be disrespectful, and also like be very sensitive, because I know the subject can be very triggering. So I'm doing my best to express that in a loving, clear, non-judgmental way. But yeah, so again, a few times when I was doing those activations and meditations, I would like black out and not remember anything that happened. Not in a good way where you're blacking out because you're relaxing or you fell asleep or something like that, but in the way where I would feel weird. And I would be told like, that's part of the activation, like now you need to integrate and all of that, so that's part of it. And again, there were moments where it felt like good, and there were moments that didn't feel so good. And only now, after almost 2 years, I'm realizing a bunch of stuff that felt kind of weird to me in that moment, but only now I am like deciphering and uncovering, you know. Please let me know if you have experienced anything like this. After I left that container and that container closed, I started like feeling very weird and going through a very challenging time. How can I even explain this? Like, you know that kind of spirituality where it's like you're high vibration, and if you're dealing with any pain or any low energies, then you're just low vibe, and so people kind of dismiss you or disregard you because you're in a lower energy. Like, does that resonate for anyone? Really important topic. My ex-girlfriend loved spiritual bypassing. She was really imbalanced person, really much knowledge about spiritual things. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Like, and this is such a sensitive topic because I also need to be very aware of myself. And when I sometimes do it, if I do it, to be very aware of it and be very grounded and human and just aware, you know, also to not point fingers or any of that. And also, again, to be respectful and non-judgmental, but at the same time to have some discernment. So, well, when that container closed and I left, I started feeling not so good. Like these weird things were happening. And whenever I would ask the person facilitating the container for help, that person would not be there. So I wasn't able to ask for help because they just told me like, oh, you are in a low energy or blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's true. I'm having a challenging time. Like, okay, let me work it out by myself. And there was this weird energetic where it was like I was either high vibration or I wouldn't receive help from that person. And yeah, like I have this thing where I've shared this before where I have this ability to see different perspectives, which I didn't ask for, is just there. Honestly, I don't love it, but it's just there in my brain where I can see different perspectives. So I could see that other person's perspective as well, but I was also feeling that something was off. Meanwhile, a long time passed and I've heard other people share similar experiences and honestly also much worse experiences with that same person or with similar situations. And I was like, oh yeah, now all of this makes sense. We also made a live a while ago sharing about the spiritual bypassing, for example, with transcending the physical, like transcending the physical, and also the spiritual bypassing of tantra, where it's like if you're not like having wait, I can't say this word on social media, if you're not making love or having relationships, if you know what I mean, with everyone and anyone, then you're closed and you're blocked, and you should be doing that with everyone, and you should just be open, and like you're just attached and you're blah blah blah, and that's just your fear and you need to transcend it and blah blah blah. While I also see certain aspects of that, now I see how that also hurt me and so many sisters and brothers that I've known throughout the years. So for a while there, like I was also like very high up in the higher realms, higher chakras and all of that, like channeling a lot, feeling a lot of things, being very out of body and like disassociated, like seeing all these things and just being in other dimensions. And all of a sudden I was like brought back into my physical body, into my physical reality. And again, let me know if you have experienced anything like this before. I was brought back into my body, back into my human physical reality to take a look around and within and see where I was disassociating or spiritually bypassing or any of that. And I learned a lot and I grounded a lot. I feel there comes like a time in our spiritual awakening journey where we get too woo-woo and too spiritual and too higher chakras, higher dimensions. But then there is a time to like actually ground our butts, ground our asses, and like be physical, be human, like be here, take accountability, be responsible, and all kinds of stuff like that. So there's been this whole journey that I've been going through where for a while there I also stopped doing energy work with other people, for myself. I stopped. There was a time also that I even stopped meditating because I was like, I'm not gonna go out of body, I'm just gonna be here. Or if I would meditate, I would meditate either with my eyes open or just feeling the physical sensations in my body instead of disassociating and traveling somewhere else. And now that I am more grounded and my work is very different now, you know what I've noticed as well is that sometimes people come to me for energy activations, but what I see that they need is to ground, is to be human, is to honor their physicality. And so instead of like further opening them to higher things, I'm like, you actually might benefit from some grounding. And I assist people with that. And that's why I've been so passionate about somatic practices and embodiment practices, which is to be in the body, to listen to the body instead of getting out of it, and noticing when that happens and why that happens, and learning how to bring ourselves back. So it's very important, as I share this, that for me, like, to notice that I don't want to point fingers or judge, and I need to be very aware and sensitive to what I'm sharing and how I'm sharing it, and also take a deeper look within myself. So, what else do I want to share? Let's go into this. This is also something that might be very triggering for a lot of us. If someone would have told me this before, I would get very triggered. And now I see that it makes sense. So, sometimes when we are connecting with spirit guides or with entities or goddesses or whatever spirit guides, angels, spirit animals, whatever it is. Now I'm becoming very aware where energies like that want to bring me out of body and disassociate me from reality, or separate me from the people closest to me and my human physical reality. If those beings are truly of light, would they disassociate you from your human experience and bring you to these other realms and blah, blah, blah? Or would they help you with your physical reality? Because if they are not helping you with your physical reality, maybe they are not so good. And I know this can be so challenging to hear and so confronting and so triggering. I know, because I've been there. And I went through a lot to get to this point where a lot of things changed in my life, and I'm now much more grounded and much less woo-woo. And it's funny that I went so deep into spirituality that it's hilarious at this point. And now, while most people talk about having a spiritual awakening, I feel like I went through a human awakening, which is grounding back down after your spiritual awakening is just as important as having the spiritual awakening itself. Really important. I have had some psychotic kind symptoms, and there are so many people which offer too strong medicines like holosomatic breathwork for people who really need to be more grounded. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. For real. This is why, seriously, I've had many people come to me because they wanted light language activations or sessions or energy healing. And I was like, I'm sorry, but I cannot do that for you at all. You actually need to ground. You need to balance and harmonize your nervous system, because if you don't and you keep going at the rate that you're going, I know where you're gonna get, because I've been there. And it took me a long time, and it was very challenging to bring myself back from it. And guess what? The people who inspired me to just transcend, and to be high vibrational and connect with other beings and channel entities and whatever, they were not the ones who helped me bring myself back. I had to bring myself back. They were not helpful. They stayed there. When I actually needed help, they were not there. They were both not able to help me, not willing to help me, and not capable of helping me. And so I started noticing that many people were coming to me to get activations, even things you guys, seriously, even things like getting an oracle card reading. And I would be like, I can give you a reading, let me see, but let's get yourself into the body. That's the most important thing. before you listen to any outside guidance, even if it's just a simple oracle card reading, that you are very grounded in your energy, that you are in your power, in yourself. Because, and this is so sad, you guys, like I know people with pure hearts and intentions that are like channeling or giving readings for other people, and they don't notice how that's doing this weird thing where people are putting them on a pedestal or listening to their guidance like an external guidance more than their own. And that's very dangerous. That's why I say sometimes if I'm saying something that doesn't resonate with you, let it go, because I'm just sharing my own experience. And the most important thing that we can have is discernment, and that we are connected with our own intuition and with our own power more than what we listen. For example, even things like astrology. Sometimes we even give power away to that, to human design, to astrology. Like, what is going on, you guys? Like putting our power away or listening to guidance that comes from other people instead of listening to your own. And then it gets too crowded and too noisy, and then you don't know where you're going. This is why even when I'm doing like coaching, I have it very present where if there's something that I'm saying that triggers you, let me know. And we will go deeper into that. And if something I'm saying doesn't resonate, also let me know and let's look into that. Because sometimes we are projecting without even noticing. I can be projecting right now without even noticing. So it's important that we have that inner awareness, and that like I'm sharing this with a pure intention to be of service and to bring these uncomfortable things into light so we can talk about it. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just saying I've had these experiences and I've seen so many other people go through them as well. And I've seen how much they suffered, and I know how much I suffered. I know how hard it was to bring myself back. So I want to talk about it so other people don't have to go through it so much. So that we just bring it up as a subject, just to enter this in the conversation, to discuss it so we can bring awareness to it. There are so many things that so many people and events and things that we offer with a pure intention that end up being channels for things that are not so good. And again, everything is a learning lesson, and we can say from another perspective that it's all meant to be, and that we are always learning, and every experience is for our souls to evolve and for us to learn from, and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's like we also really do need to have discernment and to protect ourselves from certain things and certain people and certain practices. So, and even to make this a little bit lighter and funny and a little funny, I even wrote on my Instagram bio that I am your not so spiritual coach. First of all, I don't like and I don't resonate with calling myself any kind of coach or mentor. I just put that word out there so you understand how I can be of service to you and kind of what I do. But it's I'm not a coach or a mentor. I'm just a human alive on earth, just like you. And I'm just sharing my experiences and what I've learned along the way. And if I can be of service and you feel called for us to work together or to collaborate, then let's do it. But that's why I say I'm your not so spiritual coach, because I'm not going to give you a light language activation, for example, if you are already ungrounded and unstable. That why would I do that? That makes no sense. If someone comes to me who is already fragile or unstable or ungrounded, I'm not gonna do major energy work or whatever to further destabilize their nervous system, you guys. What's going on here? No, let's ground, let's stabilize, let's feel safe, let's talk about it, let's actually be here for each other. Sometimes things get so creepy so fast or so ugly so fast. And it's sad. And I don't want to be a part of it. And of course, I'm not perfect. I'm just doing my best. And I also know that everyone is doing their best. But I really feel we need to talk about these things. Because you know what? Last time I shared something like this on a live on Instagram, I had so many people telling me, oh yeah, I've gone through that as well. Oh, I've gone through worse than that. Like, oh my God, thank you so much for talking about this. For example, when I shared about the spiritual bypassing in Tantra, and like being too, there are certain words I can't say on social media, to be very open, sensually open, and to connect with everyone and to let people touch you even if it feels uncomfortable, because if it feels uncomfortable it's because you're blocked or whatever. Like, there's so much weird stuff going on, you guys. Like, we also know these pseudo spiritual gurus and teachers that just consume other people's energies, that siphon other people's energies, that trick people into doing things that they don't want to do, that don't feel good to them, and they say if you don't do it, it's because you're blocked or whatever, you know. This is so freaking sad. Like, and I'm gonna be honest, like, as always, like, for so many years I was not only watching people go through that, but I was going through that myself, but I didn't know better at the time. I was too young, too open, too sensitive, and too naive. Now I'm much wiser and more grounded, and like, I just trust what feels good to me and what doesn't. And I listen more to myself than anyone else from the external. This is so important. I've seen so much stuff happen, like, you guys, in ecstatic dances, in cacao ceremonies, in plant medicine retreats, in festivals, in healing spaces, in like tantric events, like in so many places and things that are supposed to be loving and kind and spiritual and whatever, that end up being very, very, very just bad, you guys. Just bad things going on. They blame all on resistance when it could be higher intuitive guides. Yeah, exactly, resistance. Yeah, I forgot that word. Yeah, exactly. That you're blocked, or that like it's your resistance, and you need to move past the resistance, and you need to like let go of your ego and your attachment, and you guys, you know. And then like, exactly, it's toxic. Your body is telling you it doesn't feel good, but you're like, oh no, everyone is doing it, so I should be doing it. And of course, you guys think I don't need to say this, but let me just say it. Of course, there are moments where we are blocked or we are resisting, and when we go through it, it opens up and it's actually good. But I'm talking about the moments where it isn't, where it literally isn't. And when people make you feel bad or judge you or pressure you to do things that literally don't feel good to you. And you know what's sad? Like, I've shared this before. I've studied Tantra. And I've also said this before. Not the sensual Tantra, make love with everyone. You see, polyamorous Tantra that everyone shares these days. I studied like meditation, non-duality, transcendental Tantra. And even that was very dangerous. That was also very dangerous. I learned a lot, good and bad, from it, you know. And you know what many people came to me saying when I shared about this in another life that I did. I had so many sisters come to me saying, oh, like, I've been in places where they told me I was blocked and that I was resistant, and like people were touching me and I felt uncomfortable, but I felt like I was blocked, or I should listen to them because they are older, or like they are the teachers or whatever. And like, I heard so many freaking sad stories, you guys, like so many sad stories from so many sisters and also brothers. And it's so sad, you guys. Like, sometimes sometimes we have a pure intention to facilitate something for others, but we also need to be very discerning and aware if what we are facilitating and doing, it's literally for the best or not. They want you to bypass your sovereign nature. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you so much for saying that. Yeah. So it's like transcend everything. Transcend. If you don't make love with everyone and anyone, then you're blocked. If you want to have one partner for the rest of your life, it's like you're clingy, or like you're how do you say it, like you want to like grab them, or like like that you have an attachment or whatever. And I'm like, dude, what if I want to have a family? And like, does having a loyal partner and being a loyal partner means that we are attached and blocking each other and like whatever? Like, what? And again, it's also being aware when that is happening. And again, we are humans, you guys. Of course we're gonna be triggered. Of course we're gonna, and it depends. There are people who are happy like making love with everyone and being free and being open. I was never that person. That was never me. And I thought to be enlightened, I had to be like that. And so many sisters told me, when I shared my story, they told me they had a similar story or even worse. That's so sad. I'm like, that's amazing if that works for you. And if you are someone who is very open and connects with many different people and you love that and that's literally like your vibe, that's great. That's your vibe, but it's not mine. And it's not that I'm wrong or you're wrong. If that's truly what you feel is best for you, then that's amazing. But I also discern and know what is best for me and what resonates for me. And being a loyal partner doesn't mean that I'm blocked or that I'm, like restricting myself, or like, I don't know, like, or that you want a loyal partner and that you're blocking them from like, not letting them be free. Like, I am very free in partnership and in loyalty and in family. And again, it doesn't have to be the same for all of us. Like, it's okay that we are different. And it's okay, again, because we are humans. There is such a variety of experiences that we get to feel and choose from. Like different things will resonate for different people, and that's okay. If someone has to convince you, then it's bullying. Yeah, exactly. Like, like I've been in places where there was like dancing or movement or like group hugs or group whatever that felt like a little bit challenging, but I felt like it was good for me. But there were also others where I was like, no, I don't need you to touch me. Like, it's not just because we are on an ecstatic dance that an old man, and I'm sorry, just not to be disrespectful, but like that a random guy can like grab me. Like, no, thank you. Like, what? What? No, thank you. So like, again, it's having discernment. It's being sovereign. It's just knowing what feels right for us and trusting that. Like, it's like, imagine you, like, I don't even want to say that because I feel so bad. I almost felt like, I'm not going to use me as an example. Like, imagine someone was facilitating something for you and they would tell you to be touched by someone else, but you felt really uncomfortable. And they would tell you, no, you need to open, you need to let go, you need to transcend, you're blocked to receive, or like whatever. And like, you literally feel really bad, but then you open because you think they know better than you, or like you trust their guidance more than your own physical body telling you, no, this doesn't feel good. That's so freaking sad. I would be so sad to facilitate something like that, because I know not all people are doing this on purpose. Most people are doing this with a good intention, but yeah, it's sad. And I feel like the younger we are, the more like naive and open we are to try different things. But then we also learn to discern like what resonates and what doesn't, what feels good and what doesn't. If my body doesn't feel good, I don't need to think too much about why that is, where that comes from. Of course, sometimes there is a time and space for that. Like, of course that exists. I'm not dismissing that whatsoever. But I'm talking about the other times where it's like, my body does not feel good here. This does not feel good. So why would I even think about it or try to justify it or try to be, swayed by someone else's perspective? No, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. No, thank you. Men or women, it's all trespassing divine giving boundaries. Yes, yeah. Again, like what resonates for me doesn't have to resonate for you. That's beautiful. I'm just sharing my experience, and the more I share my experience, the more people come to me saying, oh my God, sister, thank you so much for sharing that. Like, I've had this experience happen to me, and this experience happened to a friend of mine, and like these things happen and I didn't know what to do and I felt blah, blah, blah. So thank you so much for sharing that. So again, we don't need to all be the same. We won't be the same. We are humans. We are different. There's a variety of us and different preferences. But it's important that we know what is ours. And if it doesn't feel good, we don't have to pretend it does. Or let other people convince us, or let me be real and just say the word, manipulate us into tricking us into, yeah, that should feel good. You're blocked, or you're resistant, or you're attached, or you're whatever, That's so sad. So I know these topics, again, are not the most high vibrational happy topics, but you guys, I'm here for truth. I'm here for truth. I'm here for love. I'm here for me and for you and for us. And we are a voice in the desert that is parched, looking for true connection. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I just got chills. Yes, so sometimes I come here and I'm very loving. Sometimes I'm very direct and fiery. Some other times I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk about this. No one wants to talk about this, but we need to talk about this. So let me be the one stepping forward and just showing up, and let me just open the space for us to discuss this. It's not always comfortable, but it's better than bypassing it. So here I am. Whew. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, also you guys, I've shared this before, also when we are doing meditations, activations, energy work, stuff like that, let's be very aware if these spiritual beings, spiritual guides, angels or whatever are actually getting us out of the body and separating us from our family and our friends, making us feel the woo-woo weirdo ones, where we are totally disassociated, or if they are truly helping us with our physical reality. Because I've also seen a lot of weird stuff there as well. Unfortunately, I've lived it many times, and I've seen so many people live it as well. If your spirit guides and the angels and the goddesses and whatever that you connect to are making you feel more isolated, more alone, more disassociated, are they actually helping you? Just food for thought. Yeah, just food for thought. For example, I share about dragons. My name is Madalena Dragon in here. My art page is Birthing Dragons. But you know what I learned is that it's not about giving power to any beings or dragons outside of me. It's about being the dragon myself. What does that mean for me? Because it can mean different things to different people. For me, being the dragon just means being real, being raw, speaking the truth. It's kind of simple, honestly. Just being in my power and courage and bravery enough to speak the truth, even if I speak alone. To be brave and loyal and respectful and honorable. Yeah, it's kind of simple. It's not about worshipping a deity outside of me. It's not giving my power away to anything. It's like, how can I embody that love? How can I embody that truth? Because again, if we are connecting with entities and beings that just want to be worshipped, or that disassociate you and separate you from everyone in your life, maybe they are not the good ones. And I'm really sorry to share this. And again, also have discernment, because I'm not saying it's all like this. I'm talking about the times that it is. So many looking for an experience that does not lead to love. Yeah, that's so sad. Even, okay, you guys, let me touch on something really deep that might trigger a lot of people and might hurt, and I'm sorry, but let's just go there. Even, and again, like, have your own discernment as I share this, because this is like a part of it, you know? It's like spirituality and all that can be very beautiful, but let's also look at the parts that are not so beautiful. Like, with a lot of discernment, I'm going to share this. Listen to this with discernment. Don't just take it in, just reflect upon it. Maybe it resonates, maybe it doesn't. It's okay. Even the concept, oh, this is a big triggering one. I'm just going to say it. Even for people who are like, feel they are like star seeds or whatever. Even the concept of being and feeling like a chosen one can become a trap. I'm not saying that it is always a trap. I'm saying that it can become a trap. Because it puts you on this mission or on this pedestal and this separation from other people, because I have a mission, because I am here to lift humanity. I'm here on a mission. I'm a chosen one. That can play with your ego. It's like, even darkness can even infiltrate in very pure things, you know? You can be very loving and you can actually be a chosen one and whatever, but darkness can sometimes use that to taint that, you know? I'm a chosen one, so my ego is more elevated. And so when I do energy work, I feel very powerful and like I'm powerful and blah, blah, blah. Like, let's also be very grounded and like chilled and like, let's look inwards and see if there's any weird stuff trying to get in there. And everything is about power. When you are powerful, you have to also understand how big effect you have. It is not so easy. Many people only love their own power. They do not think about truth. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. I was talking about this without even reading your message. That's exactly what I was sharing. Yeah, thank you. Because it's like, I'm channeling light language. I feel so powerful. I do energy work. I can heal you. I'm a healer. I'm so powerful. I'm a chosen one. I'm here to heal. I have the power to heal. And then we don't notice when these weird energies or entities are like, yeah, so let me get in there. Like, yeah, feed your ego. Think you are so powerful and like elevated and like, you know, like this weird stuff can enter there, you know? That's separation, not unity. My dragon is amazing, always protective and facilitates healing. Yeah, exactly. So, again, if, for example, we were to connect with dragons and be like, oh, dragons are so powerful, they are so amazing, and it's like, if they are truly amazing and they are truly protective and they are here to help us, they would point our power back to us. Not to them, but to us. Because it's not about them, it's about us. If you have a spirit guide, it's not about worshipping or like bowing down to the spirit guide. It's about how are they helping you in your physical human life. And again, I know what I'm saying can be like, I'm not saying everything is like this. I'm saying when it is. Again, like have discernment also when I'm sharing, okay? Because I'm specifically talking about when it isn't, okay? But yeah, also like feeling very powerful can sometimes take over, and instead of like our power being from love and truth, other weird things step forward to, you know. So it's important when we are channeling, when we are sharing, when we are facilitating, that we are truly in integrity, grounded and really aware if what we are channeling is like feeding our ego and being like, I'm so powerful, I'm channeling, I'm a healer, whatever. Or if it truly comes from love, from respect, from honor, from devotion, from whatever. Because these things feed on that. When we are sharing light language, when we are doing energy healing, energy work, multidimensional meditations and activations, we need to be very present and aware if other beings that might seem like light beings are taking over to feed like our sense of like, I'm so powerful, or like, you know, like very weird stuff happens. Let me know if this has happened to you, because I've seen this so many times by now. It's kind of, oof, you know, but at least I've seen it. So I have a little bit more awareness when it happens or when I see it again. And to be very, that's like, you guys, that's also why I don't even like to like call myself a coach or something like that. It's very important that I explain this to everyone that comes to me for coaching or whatever. I am just a human alive on earth, just like you. Just like you, I've learned a few things, just like you have learned a few things. And I'm here to actually support you and be of service. If what I share does not resonate, don't take it in. Like, let's not put each other on a pedestal. Sometimes people put their coaches or their mentors on a pedestal. Let's not do that. We are humans. We've gone through experiences and stuff in our lives that taught us lessons, where we learned from, where we grew from. But we don't need to put anyone on a pedestal. Let's all just stay with our feet on the ground. That's the best pedestal of all. Our bare feet on the ground. And let's actually be of help to each other and support each other. I don't need you to put me on the pedestal to be of service to you. I can be fully raw and human and real and be of service. I don't need you to like put me on a pedestal in whatever way. That's kind of creepy. And if you're putting someone else on a pedestal, it means that you're like looking up. Don't look up. Look me straight in the eyes. And let's actually be here and have a conversation. Let's actually support each other. Let's not look up. Let's look into our own eyes and into each other's eyes on the same level. It's their focused love for us that assists our expansion. Yes, integrity. Yeah, exactly. That's no different than old religion ideology, seeking a savior. Oh, let's talk about that, shall we? Oh, let's talk about that. Oh, let's just talk about that. Okay. So, funny story. At some point in my journey, a while ago, something interesting started happening, which was like when I was like praying or like asking for guidance from outside, whether it was like spirit guides or the universe, like whatever, God, whatever, I started receiving silence. And I was like, what's going on? Like, I'm not being able to connect anymore. Like, where are they? They left me alone. Like, what's going on here? Like, I'm praying, I'm asking for help, but nothing comes back. Until I realized, oh, I am the one. I am the one. And I'm right here. I'm literally right here. And I can discern and I can take action and I can change. I'm here. So, you know that story, like, I've shared this story today 2 times, funny enough, with other people, not here. You know that story? I don't know, like, the whole story, but it's something like there was a man that was lost at sea. And the man was like, oh, it's okay, God is going to save me. I have faith, God is going to save me. And then a boat goes by, passes by. And the man on the boat asked the guy lost in the middle of the sea, do you want help to go back to land? And the guy says, no, I'm good. God is going to come to help me. And the boat is like, what? Okay. The boat goes. Then the man is there like in the water and it's like, oh my God, what's going on? And then another boat comes and the boat is, do you want help to get back to land? And the man is like, no, God is going to come and save me. And so the boat is like, what? And they go. And then a third boat comes in and it's like, dude, do you want help? I can take you to land. And the guy's like, no, no, God is going to save me. And then the guy dies. He dies in the middle of the ocean. And then he goes to heaven and he asks God, God, what happened? Like, I was lost at sea. I was in the middle of the ocean, about to drown. And I had faith and I trusted you and you did not save me. And God is like, dude, I sent you 3 boats. What are you talking about? I sent you 3 boats. And that's like kind of the story here, you know, like God speaks through people. It speaks like sometimes you need to hear something and I'm saying it. Sometimes I need to hear something and you're saying it. That's when like the guidance is like pure and it flows. Other times you say something and I'm like, oh, that's not for me right now. Or I say something and it's like, no, that's not for me right now. And that's beautiful. But that's the same thing with the Savior. It's like, stop looking for your spirit guides to come save you, for the aliens to come to earth to save us. Dude, it's you, it's me, it's us. Let's stop giving our power away to aliens, to spirit guides, to God, whatever, the universe, because we are literally right here. When are we going to realize that we are the ones to take responsibility and to take action? So this thing started happening in my life a while ago, where I was praying or asking for help, or like, I don't know, like even like taking oracle cards. Sometimes now I do it like for fun or whatever, but I even stopped doing that because it's like, I'm asking for what? Like, I'm right here. Like, what am I asking? Who am I asking? Why am I asking? I'm here. This reminds me of something I learned when I was studying the legal system during 2020. And I was studying about law and language and stuff like that. I've never shared this on Instagram, but I studied quite a lot about that. It's a whole nother story. While other people were wearing weird things on their faces, I was chilling because I learned a few things. But yeah, for example, asking. This is just, like, don't take this too seriously. It's just something that just came to my mind. Instead of asking for help, just realize that you are as king. You are king. You are the one. Ask yourself. Stop waiting, like, you know, like, okay, let's go there. Like, even things like manifestation. Manifestation without action sometimes works. It depends on what it is. Sometimes it doesn't. Like, can you, like, manifest that? Like, for example, there are people, for example, who are like, okay, wait, this can be very triggering. Let me use another example. Okay, yeah. So, for example, you want to get muscles, you know? And you're like visualizing that you have muscles, visualizing that you have muscles. That can kind of work to a certain point. I've seen, like, there are people who cure cancers and, like, all kinds of stuff from just meditation. But at the same time, it's like, just go to the gym or exercise, you know? It's like, it requires your action as well. Because if we were here to just manifest and visualize, there would be no point in being physical. I don't know if this makes sense. Let me know. Do you get what I'm saying? That was kind of weird that thing just appeared. That was funny. But you get what I'm saying? If I was just being here and I would like meditate my way into things, then I wouldn't have the experience of being human and playing around with it and taking action and making mistakes and learning and going again, you know? We wouldn't be playing this physical game if I was like, visualize this thing happen and then it happens. Then what's the point of being physical, of being human? There wouldn't be a point. Do you get what I'm saying? All is placebo, pick your modality, all is an experience. Yeah, exactly. So again, like, yeah, you can manifest things just by visualizing and meditating. But for example, I don't know, like, guys, like, because there are like exceptions and things that happen as well, but like, it also requires action sometimes, most of the times. Because that's the game of being human, is taking action. Yeah, like, It's funny, like this life was not like, sometimes I just press record and like things just flow out of my mouth and I just talk and talk and talk. This time it took a while to like, like it took a while for like it to start coming out of me. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to share with you today. Again, not pointing any fingers or judgment, but just having discernment. The answers are as diverse as the seekers. Oh, that's funny. I like that. The answers are as diverse as the seekers. Oh, I like that one. I like that one. And even just like in different phases of our lives, we can ask the same question and receive different answers. Because sometimes we need to master different things in our lives. Do you get what I'm saying there as well? Like, sometimes you ask for something, but in this moment you need to learn this or master this or have this experience, and another moment you ask the same question, but you need to master a different experience, so have a different experience, so your answer will be different. So the answers are as diverse as the seeker, and the seeker itself is always evolving and changing, and so the same question can bring up different answers in different phases of our lives. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, like what else? I think maybe I will leave it at that. Do you have any questions? Do you want me to touch on something else? Let me know. Yeah, let me know. Like, it's funny, I didn't actually go too deep into the high vibe energy, like, and like, oh, you're just low vibe, or like, like I didn't even go too deep into that. That's also very interesting and deep topic to go into, where it's like I understand the truth of like being in a higher vibration and in a positive energy, while at the same time I know the importance of honoring the duality and the not so comfortable emotions that sometimes come up. So, and also, okay, let me touch on that from a different angle. So, for example, that story that I was sharing, you get that, okay, thank you. That I was sharing in the beginning, where, for example, I was in this container with this person. Sometimes, like when I would be struggling and I would ask for help, sometimes they would just tell me, you're in a low vibration. And they would just leave me there without helping me. Sometimes that can have a point and be of service and whatever. Sometimes that can be like such not so nice spiritual bypassing, where someone is actually struggling and asking for help, and you just tell them that you're not going to help them because they are low vibration. And this is something that it's like walking on eggshells here around this topic, because of course, like if someone is always like playing the victim, like bringing you down, like obviously you might want to have some boundaries or whatever. But again, I'm not talking about those moments. I'm talking about the other moments where it's a form of spiritual bypassing, of dishonoring our emotions, of disassociating from our body, of like judging, like you're low vibe, so get out of here, like shift your energy, like, like that feels like judgment. Yeah, exactly. So again, I'm not talking about the times where it kind of makes sense. I'm talking about the times it doesn't. I'm not saying that it's always like this. I'm talking about the times where it doesn't. Okay? So imagine, for example, okay, because I'm trying to like be sensitive and honor and not like share too much. But like imagine, for example, having a friend or a coach or a mentor or a teacher that only loves you or gives you energy or helps you when you are high vibration. And I'm not even like, I don't know if I'm explaining this well enough, but like, you get what I'm saying? Like, And when you're not, it's like, deal with it yourself. And it's like, you're supposed to be my friend, or you're supposed to be my mentor, you're supposed to be my coach. And I'm asking for help, I'm asking for support, and you're bypassing it. And again, I'm not saying that it's always like this and that it's always what that means, but I'm saying when it is. So yeah, I have had... I could write books and make movies about stories upon stories upon stories on subjects like spiritual bypassing, for example. And I know so many people have gone through so many experiences like that as well. At a minimal, holding space is what's essential. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, lessons upon lessons upon lessons. We are always learning, also not judging anyone, not wanting to point any fingers. Just speaking from some lessons I learned and some things that I saw and some things that people also told me. And again, I share this with love and just to bring awareness to certain things. And yeah, thank you for being here with me. I guess that's all for today. Today was about spiritual bypassing and weird pseudo-spiritual stuff. And let's see what I go into tomorrow. Every day is a completely different topic, so let's see. But I guess I feel complete for now. I can touch upon this again on another live. If you want me to, let me know. But for now, I guess that's all. And yeah, thank you all for being here. It's important, thanks. It's great coming here. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, dear. Bless you. Thank you. And yeah, just want to say before I go that my intention, like literally with my energy always and with these lives, is that it's just creating a safe space, like just creating a safe space, which can be so easy and also so hard to do sometimes. Thank you, Madalena. So inspiring. And I will also offer live Instagram. Oh, awesome. Yes. Yeah, so my intention with these lives and in my life is in general is like to just create safe spaces. Safe spaces for people to cry, to laugh, to play, to dance, to celebrate, to talk, to share, like to connect, like whatever it is, in ways that feel good to each one of us. Just creating safe spaces. I feel, that's always been something very sacred to me, to create sacred spaces. So thank you for being here. Hi, Sylvia, welcome. And thank you for sharing this space with me. And I'm sending everyone love and blessings. And let me just breathe with you for a moment. Honoring our differences and our similarities. Honoring that what resonates for some of us might not resonate for the rest of us, and that's okay. Honoring what feels good to us in each moment. Not trespassing other people's boundaries or energies. And respecting ourselves and each other. Our differences and our similarities always. Thank you. I am just starting my business about sustainable activism, so this has so much for my business also. Yes. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for being here. Thank you for being you exactly as you are, with all our differences and all our similarities. Bless us all for being so brave to be human, alive on earth at this time. Sending you all so much love. Gabe, yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you everyone, and I will see you soon again. Bless you.